and welcome to another episode of the Thomas Clan Garden. Today is part 2 of the Gardening by the Moon series, which is the synodic method of gardening, gardening by the moon. This should probably be the shortest video. It's the most simple of the 3 methods. So not a whole lot of explanation. We just did part 1. I think I rambled a little much, so I'll try to keep this one short. So the synodic method is the most simple of the gardening by the moon methods, and it's actually the easiest to follow. If you're a beginning gardener and you want to just jump right into it, it is a good way to really start. Now, the synodic method breaks the moon cycle, the full moon cycle, which is about 29.6 days, into 4 exact quarters. There's the new moon, the first moon, the full moon, the last moon, or first quarter, last quarter. Okay. Now, basically, by breaking them into those quarters, it's breaking the moon off into sections in which it is the amount of gravitational pull, which we talked about in the intro video, how much water the plants are drinking, and what it does is it creates time frames in which pardon me again. It creates time frames in which planting certain things are the best. Pardon me again, I'm sorry. I'm getting over something, I guess. So, with the new moon, that is the best time to plant leafy or foliage veggies, and it's also the best time to plant herbs. Now, the reason why is because with the new moon, you have a huge increase in the gravitational pull from the week before, the last quarter, but I'll get into that in a second. You have a huge increase in the gravitational pull. It's also, at the new moon, there's a lot of water absorbed for the day before the new moon to the day after, 2 to 3 days after, actually, where there's an increase. You guys are kind of sliding on me here. So there's an increase in the gravitational pull, and the seeds and roots are taking in more water. Seeds need moisture to germinate, so if you plant these particular seeds at the new moon, you're going to have, it's going to absorb the seed, which will allow it to swell and burst, and will allow it to start growing faster. As much as I'm gonna wait for my conclusions, my experience, to vouch for this kind of thing until the end, the part 5 conclusions video. So make sure you stay tuned through the series and watch for that. So the next part is the first quarter. Okay, so the second week of the moon cycle. So when the moon is half full and growing, that's the best time to plant any above ground fruiting vegetables: tomato, eggplant, peppers, squash. Broccoli would be considered more of a leafy vegetable, so you could get away with it, but broccoli you'll usually plant in the first week. Let's see, beans you would plant in the second week. Now, the reason why, usually, above ground fruiting plants, they usually germinate faster. So you get them in the ground, you make sure that they have the adequate moisture, which moisture is rising in the soil as the moon is rising, because the gravitational pull is growing. So do make sure it gets some initial moisture, but then, as long as it's not incredibly hot, it usually has enough moisture right away to actually sprout. And so what happens is it can sprout quicker. It can set a root in the second half of the moon cycle, which I'll get to in a second, and then as the moon turns, it'll allow it to grow. Basically, what you're doing by following this method is you're planting a seed at the beginning of its life cycle for the new moon, for the leafy, the first quarter, for the above ground fruiting vegetables. For the full moon, you would plant any underground root crops. So potatoes, onions, beets, carrots, turnips, parsnips, whatever else grows underground. Peanuts. Yeah, peanuts. I believe you would plant in the second half of the moon as well. And anything else that grows below the ground. Also, if you like planting flowers, with this method, planting any bulb flower, any flowers that grow off of a bulb, you would plant at the full moon. Now again, it's absorbing water, and so as the pressure, as the gravitational pull decreases, it allows the water to go back down into the soil, which stretches the roots down into the soil. So it allows the roots to strengthen and grow, and so the above ground plant doesn't grow as much in the second half of a moon cycle, but its roots do, and it makes it stronger, makes it more able to absorb energy and support itself when it grows when the new moon comes back around. Now, the last quarter in this method is considered a barren period, and this method recommends no planting or transplanting during the barren period. Now, the reason why is because the moon's gravitational pull is so low that there's no pull up or down with the water. There isn't enough pull up or down with the plants, and so it's really, now barren is kind of extreme, but some people will call it that. It's more like a rest period. For the first 2 weeks, you have the plant absorbing water. Maybe the roots grow a little bit, but not a lot. But the plant is growing. Then it spends a week stretching out those roots and absorbing energy. It needs some time to rest, kind of like after you eat a huge Thanksgiving meal, and then you need to take a nap, because basically you spent all day cooking, doing your thing, exerting your energy. You're doing your top thing. Then you eat all the food. There's your roots, and then you need to take a nap. Well, that's basically what the last quarter is that rest period, or a barren period. So you don't want to plant, you don't want to transplant. Since I forgot to mention transplanting before, it is best to transplant 2 to 3 days before the full moon, and at the very latest, the day before the full moon, which is what I'm doing today. I'm going to transplant a couple of things for another video that I'm gonna release. Probably in a couple of days. It'll be a little late for anybody to do anything with this month, but for future months or for next year, it'll be a fantastic video. My son is going to be in it. It's going to be fantastic. You guys are going to love it. But just to finish off with this point, so the synodic method is the most simple. It's the easiest for beginning farmers. This year's the first year that I've done anything more complicated than that. I gardened, growing up with my grandfather, my father. My grandfather does a hybrid of the side reel and biodynamic methods, which, again, to those in parts 3 and 4. My father does just a synodic method. And then at the old place I used to live at, where I had a garden for 3 years, I did the synodic method, and well, actually the first year I didn't, the second and third year I did, and the increase in my yield from the first year to the second year was huge. But I'll talk about that in the conclusions, and then the third year was actually even greater. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment in the box below on what you think. If you have any questions, drop a comment below, and if there's anything in particular you want to see me do videos on, let me know. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our page, and let all your friends know about us. The more people that see, the better. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for part 3. It's coming soon. And until next time, have a great day and enjoy your garden. Talk to you soon. Bye.